You get off the highway and you drive a little bit, and then you're hit with the good stuff, I like to call it. You have to get through the rough and tumble of near the highway to get through to the heart and the guts of it.
If I'm describing it today, I would say it's a community in a state of dramatic change and shift. If we, for instance, talk about Oshawa based on its industry, the largest employers of my childhood, Fittings, Malleable Iron, Hudai, General Motors, just to name a few, and there are many others, either are completely gone or, in the case of General Motors, have shifted to a different type of industrial complex.
Well, it's definitely the cars. Because when the kids and I came to Oshawa in 1977, the motto for the city was Oshawa, the city that motivates Canada, motivates. Now we have a new saying, but motivates.
City of Oshawa, if you drove through, would look pretty run down. It has its ups and downs. We're a largely automotive community. Our GM corporate headquarters is here, and if you, when I was growing up, when the kids went around the class and said what their parents did for a living, half of them would say that their parents worked at GM. That's what it did. That's just how it was. And so though we are largely automotive, you can't just dismiss the city as being only that. We have a vibrant arts and culture scene, a great music scene where the people who go to every concert in the city are at every concert in the city. They all know each other. It's so inspiring, in my opinion. People who love it just want to see it grow and expand.
As a person who came here, I found it to be a very strange community that tended to ignore its own benefits and blessings.
Well, to me, having been on committees for the senior center, I've been on a lot of committees through the years. We have traveled to other senior centers and seen their facilities and talked to them. Oshawa has the best facilities of anywhere in the world. I'm absolutely positive of that. We really are so fortunate, and so many people are so reluctant, so many older people are so reluctant to become involved, and they just don't know what they're missing. I'm always saying, come to the senior center. It's a whole new life.
So the downtown core, which harbors all of these,
our culture and our history, it's totally different than everyone else. We have Camp X, we have the gallery, we've got the library, we've got GM, we've got all these different cultures kind of after the war came and settled in Oshawa. So we kind of had the first melting pot, I want to say, of Ontario, possibly even Canada. So that was really
I think Oshawa is primarily a long-term, long-standing family community. I think one of the things that is different from other places where I've lived, in a certain respect, is the extent to which people that I've met here identify with the community as a family place. They've grown up here and they stay close to here, and they stay close to family, and they consider the most important aspect of living here to be their family life. I think that's different from what it might have been, let's say, 20 years ago. But I think essentially that's what Oshawa is about.
It's a little bit like the 1950s with technology. I think it is. It's a little bit of that thing that we all strive to do. We all are trying to have a nice, safe place and a home and neighborhoods and all that. And it's that plus the technology that's around here. It's modern and yet traditional at the same time. I like it. When we first moved here, when we crossed the border, you have to present your documents so you could get your landed immigrant status. And I remember the border person, the border patrol person, asked me, "Oshawa, you're moving to Oshawa? Who would ever want to move to Oshawa?" And I went, "Smart people move to Oshawa. I want to move to Oshawa." And she was just flabbergasted that I would want to move in Oshawa. "Not Whitby?" She said, "Not Whitby?" I went, "No, I'm moving to Oshawa." So Oshawa is where I want to be.
Well, I've got two answers for that. One, it's a very hardworking town, and two is the people and their from an art sense, it's really open and community like within that world, and it's very open to different things, and it's not judgmental. So, from where I'm from, it's good.
And it's a place you kind of have to get to know before you love it. Like it grows on you, it's an acquired taste, I think, because there's, like I said, the usual landmarks, but you have to kind of be here and get to know the people and understand the interactions and how things like layoffs at GM filter through the whole city, and and even but there are great things like the university, and like there's just so many other good things too that you just have to let it all meld and grow on you. So it's hard to describe a city.
In my childhood, I remember seeing men taking the bus or walking and carrying lunch boxes to work, lunch buckets to work. We don't see that anymore. It's a commuting town. By dramatic change and shift, we now have in Oshawa some very significant educational institutions which are changing the culture of the city to some degree, partially because most of the students are commuting students. They're not students who live in Oshawa, and so that changes how we cater to the needs of the students, whether it's in the downtown core or in the North End, where both Durham College and the University of Ontario Institute of Technology are located.
Probably living in the shadow of Toronto. A lot of the culture and a lot of the stuff to do around here is like everyone goes to Toronto on the weekends, but like a lot of people are like stuck here too. So it's like it's a rough place to live, I think. Well, it's just like it seems like Toronto like steals all the local culture, and as soon as people are old enough, they seem to try and get out of this place. So it's okay.
I feel like Oshawa really is a hidden treasure that people have yet to really see all the good things that are there.
Oh no, I think Oshawa is doing fine on its own. I think the changes that are taking place, and there's nothing that needs to be done drastically that Oshawa can't learn on its own.
I don't know, I have this underlying feeling that it's a city that's really trying so hard to be like a positive influence, it's saturated with some very, very beautiful and artistic and great architecture, and then it's surrounded by these little pockets of sadness, and then people struggling to make ends meet, and but it feels like it feels like the city that's always hoping, it's always trying to get a leg up and be part of something bigger.